really, it was amazing. The one who asked, do you know that lady? I said, no, I don't know the name, but that's me. That day, that weekend, I was myself again after a year. Because I've been a year, I was like just a down person and a happy chappy person is gone. And but that weekend, really it stood out for me and it changed my whole life. I became I became a better person, a better me, how God wants me to be, not how I think I want to be, not what other books say, or how a picture say, or how the soap go. No, that's what God wants from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Janine, it really sounds like, Nehemiah, that you had, this weekend, or your life was at a place, because I know my life had taken that place where I was just, especially when I was going through my marriage struggles and trials, I went through, a phase in my life where it just seemed like, everything was just so hard and everything was so difficult. And I think the Lord was very far. But I do believe that, you coming onto the retreat, that it was just your appointed time to meet him. And even though perhaps maybe you knew him, it was just a time to really become intimate with him, which is something I believe, that we all need. We all need that intimacy and that reconnection, and just in the right way, and I think that is what's so wonderful about A Wise Woman and just us having connected at the retreat, because we could share, what we learned and how to connect, and especially by asking him questions, because that's one of the things on the retreat that we were sharing, that, we wanted you ladies not to come and ask us questions, but to ask him. So let me go to the next question that I would really like to ask you. So it's been 3 months now, and also you shared about it being 3 months because that's the amount of time that your earthly husband has been away. But from what you shared, it sounds like the Lord has opened the lines of communication, which brings me to a question before you. I want you to answer this first. A lot of us have seen that it's the change happening in us. That's what makes the difference. Would you say that the change happened in you? Because I found with my earthly husband that, when God changed me, that just did something in our relationship. Would you say that for you it's the same, that it was the work that God did in you that made the change?
Yes, surely I will say God did make a change within me, but my husband had a different mindset about God. I'm not going to say it's a religious thing, but he comes from the Roman Catholic, so he never understood me. He never understood when I spoke about God and how I expressed God. But now he's that person that I was before. He can sit and he can talk about God without being shy. He can say to me, and he's the motivation. He's the first person in the morning that send me a prayer. And at night, he believes no matter if we're not staying in the same house, you don't go to sleep before we don't. We must first pray and must first read out the Bible. And it's stuff that I really longed to have, but I was too shy to talk to him about. And when we had a misunderstanding, I would walk away from that. But now, even like we had a misunderstanding the weekend, and then he said, no, you can but we're going to pray. He like demanded, no, we must do it. And I was still thinking, no, man, I'm going to go sleep. I'm going to pray my own. And he said, no, we made a choice. We're going to pray together. So a change wasn't me, but it's usually in him. And it's something I'm really grateful to God for what he has done, because that is the husband I always wanted. But because I wasn't really ready, I thought I was ready, God gave him to me now. So now we can speak at the same mouth.
Sure. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nehemiah. Wow, it just shows that, once we can start having that gentle and quiet spirit and having that kindness on our tongues, I do believe that really changes the dynamic within a marriage where a husband doesn't feel so defensive, and that is us. I do believe, Nehemiah, that the Lord made big changes in you, and with you learning these new principles. And I mean, a lot of them is what we shared on the retreat, that it really changed you, because I know it changed me. So I
Even
can
the quiet, even the
Yeah.
quiet spirit, he was like, what happened to my wife? Where is she? Why is she not scaling and moaning and groaning? And he will talk and he was like, did I do something wrong? He felt like when I keep quiet, he's doing something wrong. But actually, I just looked at him and I just let him talk. Like even the 21st of March, we decided to meet up. He was yelling at me and I was moaning and I just sit and listen. I said, it's fine, you can talk, it's my airtime. Because we got so upset with each other that he went to his car and I went to my car. But I didn't want to leave the mall. And I still call him, I asked him, he must leave my family alone, but not for the fact I wanted him to talk to me. And he was yelling and he was upset with me. But I told him, I just sit and I listened. I said, yes, God, let it out. Because who is going to talk if he don't talk to me? He scowled and I was like, and then in the end of the conversation, he asked me, no, why did you say anything? I said, why must I fight fire with fire? No, that is something I was learned. I mustn't fight fire with fire. Do you feel better, my husband? And he said, you still call me your husband? I said, yes, you're my husband. What are you then? And today he actually understands, because I didn't have the opportunity to really talk to him about the women's retreat because we were still like arguing that time. But now he understands we are coming from and why I was always so quiet when he scowls, and it was really tough. Ladies, it was tough. It was hard not saying anything. But I had to do it. A lady had to do what she's supposed to do, what God's wanted to do.
Yeah, that's so true. So, Janine, it sounds like from what you're sharing with us is that, and also, look, I just want to, for any ladies out there in this world that's listening, and that's the beauty of us being South African. When Nehemiah says scaling, she means shouting or arguing, So, I just want to quickly explain that when Nehemiah uses the word scaling, she means arguing. So, that's definitely where the principle of one without a word and not being a contentious woman, I think where that's come out. And I do believe with your earthly husband, you must have shocked him a bit with your gentle and quiet spirit, and not arguing back. So, this is what makes all the difference, when we change and we start having that gentle and quiet spirit, suddenly the lines of communication are open, because now this earthly husband doesn't need to fight anymore. This woman is not fighting back. And so they become confused. Yeah, they become confused. And yes, it's tough for us, but I can share with you, Nehemiah, that it does become easier, as time goes on, to have that gentle and quiet spirit. So we don't have a lot of time left, but you've answered us. I wanted to ask you about your biggest learning thus far. But I do believe that you have answered that. And then the last thing, so we know that you have been reading the Wise Woman book. Maybe let us know, and I'm going to maybe ask you, what was your biggest learning? Let's speak about the Wise Woman book, and you can just share with us what was, what was your biggest takeaway from the book that you'd like to share with the ladies, just in ending.
The most important part in that whole book was for me that I must first put God first, and then my husband comes. So God must always be my heavenly husband before I see my husband or my earthly husband or my family, make them the important part. Because to me it was always my mommy and my brother was always important. It was first, to me it was always like my brother, my mother, and then my husband must come. So he must, like, if it's rather my way or it's the highway. But within the Wise Woman's book, I've learned a lot that it doesn't work that way. And I'm not going to say it as an excuse, but I never had a father figure in my life. So, and stuff that I've learned even since last week about my mom is like, I never experienced what a marriage is. So she has her own version of a woman and of a marriage, and I'm supposed to have, and that is what my husband made clear to me, that your mommy has a different picture of marriage. Now she wants to implement it on you, and that is so wrong. And yes, he opened my eyes so much, and he didn't talk bad about my mommy, but he also brings in the Bible. He always tells me that, Nehemiah, your mommy didn't have this. So you can't try to live the life that your mommy wants you to live. You must live the life that you want to live and how God wants you to live. And that chapter, the first chapter was like your heavenly husband. And that is what really stood out for me. I actually went to go read it 3 to 4 times before I actually continued, because even every time there's just a message that makes it more clear. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like the daily motivations that you get. The first year, there's different message, but the next year, it's like, this didn't say last, it wasn't that message on the 1st of January. And that is what the book does to me. And I'm actually excited. I didn't complete the book yet, but because of reading 3 times over and over chapter 1, because I wanted more, because every time there was a different message from it. So I'm not gonna say I read the book finished. I didn't. I was like I said, I was a little bit scared to really touch the book, Keisha. I think that time you went away. I was scared because I know that book is really gonna trap on toes. And there's a lot of guilt coming up. As I continue, I realize that Nehemiah, this is what you did wrong, man. You've never seen it that way. And there is where you could have done something differently. So I'm actually excited. Every evening, I tell him, listen, an hour. It's my hour. I must read. I must take time. I don't tell him about the book because that's a promise I made. Every time when I end the chapter, I don't tell him, but I said, it's my time now. You must wait, read the Bible, and when I'm done, you can discuss the verse with me. And that is what we're doing. We're trying to be obedient no matter what, no matter load shedding or whatever. We take the light, we read the Bible. So, but you're not going to sleep. We're not going to go sleep without reading the Bible verse, or it's load shedding, there's no light, you can take your phone. That's why when we get home, don't forget to charge your phone, because we need light tonight, because it's load shedding tonight. So that is what that book really did to me, and still doing to me. It's helping me every single day. And I won't ever change that book for anything. That's one thing for sure. I actually said, okay, when you're done, you must read it again. And this time you must get the A4 book, because that small book doesn't help anymore.
Oh, wow. Janine, thank you so much for sharing. And I just want to tell the ladies, it's Janine, Nehemiah must be speaking about your first love, I think On the Rock. I think that's the first chapter, and then your first love. So,
Yes.
yeah, so Nehemiah is busy rebuilding her life on the rock. As she's speaking to us here, we can hear, exactly how she's rebuilding by just living these principles in her daily life. And Nehemiah, it's just so wonderful to hear, because you're speaking about your earthly husband, and you're speaking about how the two of you are now becoming that married couple that I do believe that the Lord always intended you to be. But we all know that this only happens through trials. It only happens through, us going through those deep, dark waters, for us to have this testimony. And today you have this testimony. And to me, it sounds like, even though the two of you are living apart, as you said, you're speaking with one mouth. And for me, that's like your two hearts are meeting as a husband and as the Lord intended. So he's definitely, I'm so excited to hear it, because I can hear he's doing a work in both of you. And I'm so thankful that you have been you know, even if it takes time, the Wise Woman book does take time to read. It does take time to work through. You know, it's something that cannot be rushed. I mean, I didn't rush it. I'm still reading. I'm still going over certain things today, even for myself. But the wonderful thing is that you are in that process, and as you move forward, there's a lot to look forward to, because many of us have moved forward, and you know, we've moved on to finding the abundant life. So it doesn't end there. You know, there's more exciting things to come. But you know, perhaps I need to have you back when the Lord fully restores.
Yes.
I want to
Yes,
have
for
you back
sure.
for another podcast. So thank you. I'm going to take that as a yes. So,
Yes.
Nehemiah, as we end off, I just want to say thank you once again for coming and sharing with us about a wise woman.
Thank you very much. And please, ladies, don't ever stop praying for me.
Hi there, ladies. Please come and visit us at hopeatlast.com. Click on blog where we share daily praise reports, ministry information, lessons, and ministry resources. You can sign up to receive our daily newsletter. You can click on free courses for our free marriage courses, and you can click on our give button, which will take you to PayPal, where you can donate and give and sow into the fertile soil of restoring marriages.